broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey there, AfterBuzz fans. Welcome to another edition of the AfterBuzz Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After Show. Tonight we are talking about Episode 3, Season 3, A Wanted Inhuman. How are we all feeling tonight?
I see what they did there.
We're feeling good. I'm just getting over a cold, so I apologize if I cough in the middle of this or if
You didn't take any fish oil to help you get healthy, did you?
Oh my god, I did.
Oh no!
No! He's gonna turn into a door! No!
It's not a door, he's a portal.
Yeah.
Let me introduce my fantastic panel, Jesse Klein.
Hi everyone, I'm Jesse Klein. You can find me on Twitter at JessKlein1. That's JESSKLEIN, the number 1.
Zach Wilson.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. I think the fish oil bit was. You guys can tweet me throughout the week, throughout the show. I got the hashtag on the Twitter open at that Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Joyce Ajouri.
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter at Ajouri. That's JAJOUR.
Hey Joyce, your mic's not plugged in. I screwed up.
Oh, Joyce.
No.
Don't worry.
Joyce's mic is not plugged in.
Don't worry. Technical difficulties, we are fixing
Totally
it.
my fault. Guys.
Zach Wilson to the rescue.
Yeah.
Joyce.
Am I good now, engineer?
I can't hear you.
Oh no!
Oh, now you can.
There we go.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, hey guys, I'm back.
It's a live broadcast, you guys.
That's part of the fun.
Things happen when they're not planned.
Things happen when they're not planned.
Before we move on, I just have to, Ron Corleone in the chat room, if Jesse turns into Lockjaw, this will be the best AfterBuzz ever.
I want to be a big bulldog.
Who teleports
Yeah, I wanna
and
be a
has a little
teleporting
thingy
bulldog,
on his
yeah.
forehead.
Who wouldn't want to be locked up?
Yeah.
Guys, I'm your host, Megan Salinas. Okay, let's get to talking about this episode. Because there was a little bit of actual discussion as to whether or not this was as good as last week's, which I would say it's probably not as exciting as last week's, but I genuinely think this was a really solid follow-up.
Yeah, and I mean, with shows like this, I think comparing it week to week, there are going to be episodes that stand out. But they're laying out a big storyline, so like expecting to have every episode be like something big and groundbreaking, it just won't happen.
Yeah.
Like so like this was a good episode to kind of again set up what is going to happen for the rest of the season. Like we got some very interesting dynamics. I think the thing between Daisy and Coulson is a very interesting like thing for the dynamic going forward, and I think the thing between Roz and Coulson will be very interesting.
They're on a first name basis now.
Oh yeah, they're best buds.
Assuming that's her real name.
Assuming that's her real
Abigail.
name.
Yet to find out.
Oh my god, I have some stuff about that. But yeah, I think it was a good like. I think it wasn't a terrible episode. I think it was a good episode. It was good for setting up what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I also really enjoyed a lot of the character moments that we got in it.
I loved some of the character moments.
Yeah.
I thought it was great overall. There were some parts where I was like we were saying earlier, it's not super necessary, like the romance stuff, or, you know, we'll get to that later. But other than that, I was fully satisfied with this episode and the way it was taking the show, the direction it was taking the show.
Yeah, I thought this was still a very full episode. Like, this is not a 10-episode season type of show.
Yeah.
This is a network show, which means we're getting, I believe, 22 episodes. I might be one or two off on that. But we're getting a very big season. So, yeah, not every episode is going to be explosive, but you still want those more compact episodes. And this episode still had
there was
stuff in it.
There's still a ton to unpack.
And it didn't feel like it was like, oh, well, this is the character development episode. It kind of was, but it never felt like, well, we're wasting time on character development. Like, we still have plenty
they wrote
to do.
it well.
Yeah, this was still a very fast-paced episode, but at the same time, like, looking back at last season, last season, the entire season was paced so quickly that I would watch an episode and be out of breath.
Yeah.
And this one I watch and I'm like, okay, no, I can still breathe. I didn't have a heart attack while watching this episode. Everything's okay.
Unlike
You
some
didn't.
people.
I didn't.
And here's the thing,
Too soon. Too soon.
Poor guy.
Here's the thing, like, character development episodes make those big episodes where a big turn happens like more impactful, because now you've got like a full story. It's a full person instead of like the idea of the person. Like, now you're getting more out of it. So I think it was I thought it was a good episode.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and dive into probably the big part of this episode, which is Lincoln being on the run.
Sure.
He is being hunted by the ATCU, and our S.H.I.E.L.D. agents are trying to get to him before they do, because they don't entirely trust them, and their methods are very much spreading fear and panic because they have a lot of government pressure. All in all, I gotta say, this opening scene I thought was really cool. Just seeing Lincoln's powers in action, because he's still holding back a lot because he doesn't want to hurt anybody. But that scene where it's just raining sparks from the power lines, I thought that was just a really great way to start this episode.
It was a great visual.
I wrote a beautiful distraction. Just like those sparks coming down, and they're like, we could go around, but let's just enjoy it.
Well, but it's a pretty big wall. And I
Yeah.
think the idea is it's also a screen. So
Yeah.
like by the time they get around, he's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
You could also just go through those sparks. They wouldn't,
Probably.
They wouldn't hurt.
They're like, no,
but still,
but it'll singe our uniforms.
it's a beautiful distraction.
Rosalind would be mad.
Yeah.
I just
Ross,
got this.
if we have to wash these uniforms again, we'll get in so much trouble.
The president gave us these himself, you
Yeah.
guys, and you're gonna get electricity marks.
They're really
all
expensive.
over 'em.
But it is interesting looking at Price's tactics in terms of bringing him in, because S.H.I.E.L.D., they work under the radar as much as possible.
Yeah.
And with, openly public S.H.I.E.L.D. now being a thing of the past, the ATCU is the thing the government is counting on to make people feel safe, ironically by scaring the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was very weird to see, like, having our antagonistic agency have full government backing on an entire national scale, and to see Lincoln's picture being up as like a wanted, he's killed people even though he hadn't. It was very unsettling, but at the same time it was like, what is her end game here? And the whole point with that was she needs results.
Yeah.
She needs results. It still doesn't answer what her end game is,
Yeah.
though. Like that's short term. Short term, she needs to. The president has tasked her with hunting these people down, so she needs to get somebody to show that she's doing her job. The question is, what is she gonna do with these people once they're collected?
Yeah, once they have Lincoln, what are they doing with him?
I have to imagine studying him, maybe not dissecting him per
Yeah.
se.
That's what she claimed. They
Yeah.
weren't going to pull them apart.
Yeah, so but that doesn't mean not studying them
Yeah.
to understand. Maybe I mean, if we're going with a classic mutant storyline,
What?
then
Your cough is back.
Then I would think it would be something like trying to cure them.
And I
Maybe
feel
the big
I
thing.
feel like it wouldn't translate as curing them to them. It would be more like torture, obviously. So that's something that Coulson would want to avoid altogether.
Sometimes, yeah. Or sometimes it's been a very pleasant experience. Like, they're not torturing them, but it's still like basically trying to find a cure for who you are.
They may
Yeah.
brainwash them
They
to make
could.
them feel like it's not torture.
I'm gonna say it's they're gonna make him get into a registry, and make him register as someone with superhuman powers.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, maybe make him go through a training course of some sort. Make sure that he's not violent towards people. Give him a card and make him like check in every once
Maybe
in a
make
while.
him take the initiative.
Yeah, he might need to be
go
in an
state
initiative.
to state
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I feel like that's a possibility. Like, he
Well-
could definitely be like like ATCU could be the registration side.
or just it could be even just them. They could be building their own team, like
Yeah.
similar to what Daisy's been tasked with. Like they could be like,
That's
oh, we're
true.
going to use these people. Look what the Avengers did. We're going to take these people and we're going to make them work for us.
Yeah, it could be a number of things. I'm I kind of lean towards her not being an inhuman. Well, I say inhuman, but I mean, like, I tend to think that she's not a monster. That she's willing to, she's willing to have casualties in terms of getting.
Yeah.
And they
like,
did
very
try
quickly.
to shoot Joey, shoot him dead.
I wonder if maybe they do the like, it's okay to use lethal force, like they're doing it really loudly to make like the mutant, or not the mutant, the inhuman.
Snipers.
I'm sorry. Marvel,
Everybody get down.
Brian Michael Bendis. Okay.
We're not worthy.
Make sure the inhuman is like hears it and maybe scares them to like thinking that they're using lethal force, because we've never seen them use. They had a clear shot on Lincoln. It was a giant field.
Yeah.
Guns are great at shooting things from long distance. That's like their best thing.
We're really good at sentences tonight.
Yeah, like that's like their best thing they do is hitting things from long distance. So like they had a clear shot on Lincoln and they did not take it.
Perhaps the snipers were just a lie, or just a tactic, obviously, to keep them, at bay.
Well, it's again, I'm very curious as to what this is all amounting to, but for right now, where we have is this really interesting conversation between Roz and Coulson, which I think I'm really going to enjoy their back and forth for the rest of this season, because essentially, without, spreading the word, by not spreading the word about Daisy, she has leverage on Coulson, and he's willing to do whatever it takes in order to make that happen. At first, that means giving up Lincoln, and then it means threatening to start a war when that doesn't work out. So I was really excited when Coulson was like, I will use every resource at our disposal to stop you. And I was like, yeah, that's what happens when you mess with the director.
Yeah, that's a legitimate threat. like you just don't
from
want
Coulson.
S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah.
To threaten war from Coulson, that's you don't take that lightly.
But by the end of this, they end up making an arrangement to work together because, I like the way that Coulson put it. He's tired of fighting people. There's no need for everybody to be on different pages.
Yeah. You also have to give Roz a hand for all of the amazing arm puns.
Boo!
All the puns that she had were fantastic.
I mean, in this scene, they really set her up as like another Coulson.
Yeah.
Like she's kind of being snarky.
She's got the anti-Lola.
She's got drives up in a black Lola that's a boy.
She's like, it's a car, it doesn't have a name, and it's a boy.
Yeah, don't be stupid.
Where things like that have so much meaning to Coulson. She's just like Coulson, but she's kind of like the opposite of Coulson.
Yes,
in a
but
sense.
you can also very easily see taking her lines and putting them in Coulson's
That's
mouth.
true.
And like Coulson very easily did a move that if we saw it from a character that was an antagonist, where it was like he gave up Lincoln so that Daisy could be free. Like if it was an antagonist, you'd be like, oh, what a jerk. Like, and we're still like, what a jerk, but it would be even more like, oh, this is an evil characteristic. And instead it's like, oh, it's a pragmatic characteristic. And I feel like these characters are pragmatists. They're very much like, whatever the best way that's within my morals to get something done, I will do it. And like it seems like there are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Also, she was wearing a recolor of an Abigail brand outfit with that shirt and like the little buttons. It was black and white instead of green and black, but it was a recolor of an Abigail brand outfit. I just want to say it. I don't know if
just
she
throwing it out there.
She's technically Abigail Brand's a mutant, but recolor of her outfit. For sure.
I do want to ask, do you guys think this alliance is going to last, or do we think that this is only going to last as long as it's useful for either of them?
I think it'll last as long as it's convenient for S.H.I.E.L.D. and as long as it takes for S.H.I.E.L.D. to come back on top and to be where it used to be. So it'll work for both of them in their favor. But I think at the end of it all, the ATCU is going to sort of like fizzle out, or maybe just not work with them anymore, but end on decent terms.
I think either the ATCU evolves into something completely different where they're both just operating separately, like maybe in one hand you're holding a shield and in one hand you're holding a sword.
Yeah, sure.
Or the ATCU implodes.
Possibly. I can definitely see the Alliance fizzling apart or shattering apart because Rosalind seems to be willing to cross lines that Coulson's not.
Well, there's some people on chat that are saying what I was thinking, which is the ATCU could possibly be working for Tony Stark and be part of the registration for Civil War, and S.H.I.E.L.D. would be aligned with Cap, so they would be part of that part of the Civil War. So there'd be two sides. So when Civil War happens,
Then
the
they
show,
split.
which follows in the MCU and is part of the Marvel Universe, we'll see an alliance that has been strong leading up to Civil War. These two people working very well with each other. Now all of a sudden having like a shattering like they do in Civil War.
I still think S.H.I.E.L.D. sides with Stark.
You think S.H.I.E.L.D.
Do you,
I mean, in
but
Civil
could
War,
Coulson
S.H.I.E.L.D.
ever
did
go
side with
against
Stark.
Captain America?
I think that's what makes it very difficult
Yeah.
and
Because
very
is he
interesting.
technically human now?
In the comic books, S.H.I.E.L.D. sided with Stark and not Captain America.
Yeah,
they
but
tried to
Phil
take
Coulson.
Captain America
But Phil
in.
Coulson isn't involved because
Yeah.
he didn't exist.
No, he wasn't
But
in Civil War.
Maria Hill was very much on.
Tried to full on shoot Captain America.
I just it doesn't like it doesn't line up in terms of the
His character.
like just the rules that S.H.I.E.L.D. goes by. Like they negotiated for like tracking the Inhumans last season.
Yeah.
They are very much the they have the index. Like they're pro-index.
Yeah.
The Registration Act is the index.
Basically, yeah.
All right, let's get back to
On
Lincoln's
topic.
journey because I really like stories where there's a character on the run or somebody trying to get from point A to point B, and I really liked his story in this, like not wanting to accept help from anybody, but at the same time he's running out of places to turn, especially when his face is all over the news.
Yeah.
And so we get introduced. First, we get this really cool scene on the bus, and then we get introduced to this poor guy named John, who we don't know what his relationship is with Lincoln, but
Who is his
he's,
sponsor?
that makes sense.
Yeah, they
he's his
hinted at
AA sponsor.
alcoholism.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
have you been drinking again?
I don't want to have to talk you down from a ledge
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. I think he's his AA sponsor. Yeah.
He said,
They
yeah.
they
he's,
never
like, saved my life
explicitly
multiple times.
yeah they never
Yeah.
explicitly said it, but yeah, it's heavily implied that that's what he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't know much of Lincoln's background, so we could just very easily be getting a small glimpse into what used to be his life before
Jiaying came
before
in.
Jiaying, before all of this. So yeah, I like the route that they went with that.
Before well, this is an interesting thing. When do you think Lincoln got the mist? Because so he was living this life with like in the regular world with like he if he had a problem with alcoholism or whatever, at some point he was found by Jiaying and taken to Afterlife. But why would she bring him there? How would she have found him? One.
Yeah.
And why would she bring him there
Well,
so late in his life?
Gordon could find Inhumans. Like that was part of his thing. Is like he could just find you.
I think he could find regular people too, though, because he found Cal.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's possible that he was just kind of on this path in his youth when he was like a teenager, and that Jiaying picked him up when he was a teenager because they saw potential. Because he's been in medical school for however many years, so he's in like late 20s, probably closer to early 30s. He's been at this for a bit. So my guess is that they found him earlier on, or it's possible that he developed a problem after he went through the mist.
Yeah.
Maybe experienced some loss, like he lost a loved one or something,
Or just losing your humanity.
yeah. Even though luckily he didn't come out looking like Lash or Reyna, he could have, or Gordon even. He could have very well. It could have very well affected him mentally in a way that we just didn't see.
Still traumatizing. So
Yeah.
down in his human life, he had John as his sponsor, and up in Afterlife or wherever it is, he has Jiaying
Jiaying
as his mentor and sponsor.
And then
Both of them
technically,
betrayed him.
both of them betrayed him.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the instant he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna trust these
this person.
people, this person.
Yeah, no,
And then he
he's
was
never
like,
going to be able to trust anyone
He
again.
was like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna trust Daisy now.
God, please
and
don't
then,
go back.
and then Daisy gets betrayed.
Yeah.
Don't go back to drinking, Lincoln.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, that actually was the first question that John asked: is have you been drinking?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So they
Because
hinted at
apparently
that.
John has not been looking at television or listening to the radio.
Well, and
anything
what's
like that.
what's really
I mean,
frustrating
I feel
about
like he
this,
was.
he didn't turn it on until
Until
he
he
was
got
already in
home.
the
Oh,
kitchen.
I was under the assumption that he already
Like it
heard
was a
about
trap.
and it was a trap, and he turned on the TV to maybe pretend like he had just
or to
found
like
out.
double check the number
Yeah.
or something.
And let's be fair, I am a person who watches several hours of television a day. That does not mean I spent 1 minute watching the news.
Yeah, no.
but I
if it's
feel-
not
if it's a-
trending on Facebook or Twitter, I'm probably not going to hear about it.
If it's a manhunt for a suspected terrorist,
We'll all know.
and an alien
That's true.
terrorist,
Yeah, you're just like
We'll all
flipping
know.
through Facebook.
Yeah.
like,
It'll
You'll
be
know.
interrupting.
Oh,
It'll be
alien.
interrupting your Netflix
Yeah.
programming.
You know
somehow.
what?
Like,
You know
it'll
what?
happen.
You know what it's going to do? You'll see nothing but aliens meme all over your Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's happening.
Yes.
yeah,
but-
You're
you'll
like
see
tweeting
it.
at me, like, dude, this is just like S.H.I.E.L.D. You should look at this
Yeah,
alien
exactly.
guy loose.
But did anybody feel like this heel face turn for John was like that there like it was forced? Because we had somebody who straight up said, I don't care what you've done, you know, I'm your friend, I'm here for you. But yeah, and the fact that alien stuff has been going on for some time now, is it understandable that John reacts like this, or do we think this is just forced to make Lincoln feel bad about what happened?
I mean, here's the thing. If you're a regular human in the world, all you know about aliens is that they attacked New York and that a lot of people died in New York. Mm-hmm. You know that something weird happened in some European country that escapes my mind, where a
With robots,
Sokovia.
probably.
where a city was raised to the sky and then dropped back down, and that there's been like weird alien attacks, but that's
London
it.
got like kind of trashed by a bunch of different weird alien portals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you don't like that's your experience. So this guy John, 100%. I feel like I believe his turn. I think he saw that. I think he didn't know about it because he was like the character was a bad actor. When he was like, is everything okay? He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
everything's fine. Everything's fine.
And
yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
you cannot shower.
Yeah, like do not leave. Like I feel like
But what did he think Lincoln had done?
Well, I
Killed
feel
people.
like, well, because it goes back to
I
the
meant
fact
before.
that
Oh.
that the government's instilling
drugs.
fear in everybody. So when you turn on the TV and the person that you sponsored and trusted all of a sudden is, you know, wanted, in a sense, John's trust was betrayed as well, like in that moment. So if he did turn in that moment himself, naturally after seeing that on the TV,
Yeah.
it's probably just that he was afraid and he didn't trust Lincoln anymore for this reason, just as Lincoln stopped trusting John in the last moments of his life. So I kind of get, like, his actions were warranted, I feel. I would be scared. I wouldn't hold a sword and like try to kill the guy or, you know, threaten him, but, you know.
A metal baseball bat probably wasn't the best.
I think if I were in John's shoes, I would be like, okay, Lincoln, tell me what's up. Like, let me try to understand this.
Yeah, this is a guy
Yeah.
who's known him for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has helped him through a lot.
But
so.
I understand the fear that came out of him.
Okay, that makes sense. But I like the way we get this juxtaposition, because this is for Rosalind, this is what getting results mean. And then we see the personal cost of that kind of tactic. So yeah, that was good. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk a little bit about the three amigos, Hunter, May, and Spud. Good old Spud.
great three amigos.
I don't know what amigo is. What's Irish
British,
for friend?
It's a British
Mate.
word. Yeah, amigos.
Chap,
Mate.
crony.
The three mates.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we got a lot of Cockney rhyming slang in this episode.
Yeah.
So much so, I mean, we normally watch with subtitles, but the show actually put subtitles in for us
Yeah.
after a certain
That was
point.
great.
So we get introduced to this guy Spud, and Hunter's cover is that they're looking to unload some arms, and they're looking to sell to Hydra.
Yeah.
But the only way to get in with a meeting is by literally getting into a fist fight with somebody and putting the other guy down, either incapacitating him or killing him, I guess.
Yeah.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Yeah, it was very Thunderdome.
Little did he know he would be fighting Spud,
I like
who's huge.
Yeah, who you
compared
didn't
to Hunter, he's giant.
Yeah, this is a giant
yeah,
man.
there's not really a weight class thing going on with Hydra.
It's kind of funny to see, like, because I don't know if we'd seen Hunter, like,
No.
go, like, shirtless before. But he takes something, like, he's not, like, a weak-looking man by any means.
No, not at
but
all.
he is not ripped at all.
He's not as big as
He's
Spud.
not Spud.
He is not Spud.
Which obviously they did on purpose.
Yeah, it was visual storytelling.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because Hunter, has been this guy who's been in the field a bunch and like playing both sides, but obviously being on the S.H.I.E.L.D. side, but just has been the guy who's been going deep. I thought it was really interesting to see him drinking with Spud, being like, "Oh, don't trust him at all," but like that kind of
He's
thing.
a psychopath.
He got beat
Yeah.
bad. Like, I understand that they had to show him getting beat bad, but like, there's no way that guy is conscious or standing after a fight after that. Like, his kidneys would have been destroyed.
I mean, he knows how to take a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Are you
does he
getting
know how to
tired?
take a wall?
Yeah, that was sort of my
he's
strategy.
being thrown into?
I will say that in, like, when you are trained for something like this, like
Yeah.
something this intense, there is a component of learning to get hit, even in
Sure.
an extreme way. Like how to just like relax muscles or tense muscles in a way that will absorb the most impact without damage.
makes sense.
100%. But
That's part of learning any martial arts.
But getting
Yeah.
thrown against a wall is not
Concrete
like.
wall.
And he didn't expect to go up against someone
Yeah.
as big as Spud. So
I thought we were mates. You thought wrong.
Yeah.
I loved the whole Fight Club vibe, the whole
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love.
Brad Pitt,
I love.
Cockney, like you like that type of vibe. It was
I love
cool.
May no selling those 3 guys. Like,
Oh my god!
not even a contest. Like, just like coming in and be like, okay, who's gonna do it? Just takes all of them out and then.
I love
leaves.
the creepy guys just like, trust me, you're gonna enjoy it. And she just smiles like, oh, I am. You're not.
A lot more than you will.
Yeah.
But the Fight Club more reference,
Yeah.
just like because he asks about rules.
Yeah.
It's like there's only one rule, Hunter.
Don't talk about it.
I have a question. So, like, the plan is that they're gonna get into the low levels of Hydra so they can get close to Ward, close enough to kill him.
The problem is that like
Ward knows what May looks like.
he knows what Hunter looks like too, doesn't he?
I was actually wondering this. Like,
Did
has
they ever meet?
Hunter and Ward ever interacted?
I feel like they met when Ward and 33 were at S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters.
Yeah, and we're
Weren't
like
they
on
in the
bus.
restaurant?
Yes.
Yeah.
Together,
yes.
they were in that restaurant
So, like, Ward
last season.
Ward knows
Maybe.
what
And
both
he
of them look
recognized him
like.
as a tail at one point, and then he recognized Bobby.
Yeah, that's right.
He recognized
Recognized
Trip and then Bobby, and then Hunter was the one who stayed on the bus as a cowboy.
But like, if
That's right,
if nothing else, he would have recognized him from security feeds when they went to go save Bobby because they knew Hunter was going to try to save her.
Yeah.
So like,
Yes.
if nothing else, they must have seen each other at least once.
I think it's safe to say that Ward knows who Hunter is.
So, but Hunter addressed this in the last episode. He's like, I just need to get close enough to put a bullet in
Yeah,
him.
that's what they said.
But like, there's so many things that could go awry in terms of this plan. One of the reasons why Bobby was able to infiltrate Hydra is because
no one knew what she looked like.
yeah, she was just a mercenary. It was no big deal. But yeah, Ward, who is probably on high alert, knows who they are and knows that they'll probably try something at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone on chat says, as long as Hunter's face is as swollen as it is right now, he won't be identifiable. It's true.
I actually thought that as he walked in there,
Yeah.
like he doesn't look like Hunter there.
No.
I was expecting in that last moment for Ward to like walk around the corner.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
totally
Same.
expecting him to walk in the room and go, "Oh, nice match.
The
you got a
Hydra,
little something."
The Hydra reveal was really like well done. It was like a horror film. It was really freaky. When
Oh,
it
the
just kinda-
shadow.
They slowly pan to the new Hydra.
I
He
almost-
bends over in such
Yeah.
a way where it just shows at the perfect angle.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
almost
"Oh."
expected the dun dun dun.
It was Hydra all along.
But there was one other character bit in this when they're talking with one another, when Hunter gets off the phone with Bobby and he's talking to May and wants to get the scoop on her relationship with Andrew, we find out that she wasn't the one who left. So either they're still together or Andrew was the one that walked away.
Yeah. I feel like the twist would be they're still together.
Yeah, I like that prediction.
Yeah, I like
more.
it too, because that means May is still the May we know, and like, you know, Andrew didn't try to like change her, or she didn't feel like, you know, she had to be talkative or, you know, more of a social person. So I like the idea that they might still be together and that they're themselves. It's all good.
She's like, I gotta go take care of my dad.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
you
He's
gotta
like,
do what
"Alright."
you gotta do.
I like that. I like that.
I
Yeah.
can move
do
past
too.
all the drama that we had before.
Yeah, we got enough drama going on right now.
I'm on board for that.
Even with Bobby and Hunter, like, even though they're on good terms, they're 100% content with lying with one another.
Yeah.
Like that's the way they've
Well,
always.
Hunter's thing was like, she knows I'm lying, so it's basically not a lie.
That makes it basically the truth.
Is that logic sound?
No.
No,
Like,
don't
like
think so.
ladies on the panel. Like,
don't
No,
use that
no.
against
Do
the
not.
girl.
No. You knew I was lying, so it was okay, right?
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
but it's like
Let's scrap this right now.
It's like a spy lie.
No.
A spy lie.
A sply.
Isn't that a game you play at like in a
It's spy
YMCA?
lie.
No. Okay,
got, like,
we're
a
moving on. We're moving on.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about in terms of Hunter and May's story this time around?
Every time they do it, they use it every time where it's like, May's gonna fight a big person. Like maybe she's met her match, and she just no sells it every time where it's like 3 hits and she's done. You can do that every episode. I love it every single time. Like I get it. It's just to like remind us how awesome she is. Keep reminding me, please. Like it's so awesome to see.
It really is.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. All right, guys, we're going to take a little quick break to talk to you guys about iTunes. And I know that we have an international audience, and that truly, truly means the world to us. So for you guys here in America, the best thing to do to let our producers know that you like the show that we're putting on is to go to iTunes, rate, leave a comment, let us know what you think of the show. Give us your predictions. We want to hear them too. And for everybody else in the world, we love hearing from you guys too. We love checking the hashtag. We love checking the comments on the live chat. We love checking the comments all throughout the week on the YouTube link. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, I feel like we've got fans in pretty much like every continent except for Antarctica.
Yeah, and
So
I know
many
that
countries.
some people have put like reviews on international iTunes. It's impossible for us to go through every iTunes
Yeah.
that's like the not American ones to find them. But I actually just had this idea. If you have written us a non-American iTunes review, take a screenshot, tweet it at us.
Yeah, tweet it or put it in our chat or something.
Yeah,
like
let
that.
us
Yeah.
find a way to let us know one way or the other.
Yeah.
And then because then we will know to go look for it.
Yes, thank you guys. And do we have any new iTunes comments?
If you can stall for about 30 more
I can
seconds.
stall. Jesse, you're an improv guy.
Sure. Folks, I'd like to talk to you about fish oil.
Is
Despite
it similar to snake oil?
It's similar. Hello.
Who can guess the price of fish oil without going over? You'll get the sweet prize of superpowers.
They were talking about this on chat, and I'll say this. I think the camera work this season has been better than it's been in all of the previous seasons. They're really treating this show like it's special this season, and I'm really happy to see that. I think the direction and the show running has really worked well, and I think that the show's actually being treated legit. Come on, Steven Lemieux.
Prodigal 35. We have a ton of
Oh, we
new
got
reviews.
someone from the Philippines, by the way, in the live chat.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh,
Philippines.
thank you.
Prodigal 358 says amazing Agents of Morp panel.
Oh my god, that's
so glad Morp.
I can't live that down.
There was several hashtag Morps that I saw this week. So glad to have the team back together. I missed you all. Question for the panel: who would win in a no rules fight? Melinda May or Ronda Rousey?
Oh my god.
Has Ronda Rousey been cast as Captain Marvel? Is my
right now, that's still a big question
Yeah,
mark.
it's a big
well, that's my add on to that question.
Right now,
if
I
not
would,
May.
If she has not been cast, then right now I would say May, just because we've seen May take out multiple opponents at once.
Although Rousey has been cast as the lead in Roadhouse. The
That's
Roadhouse
true.
remake.
That is very true.
But like May, it's like May doesn't fight with like mixed martial arts. May fights with like AMA, all martial.
That's true. That's true.
Phil Coulson's left hand says, "Does Phil / his new hand have a ship name? Because if so, I'm out." It used to just be me and you, Phil. Jeez, you get axed off once, and all of a sudden you're chopped liver. If you wanted a threesome, you should have said so instead of trading me in for a new, prettier model. Ugh, what is it? Your trophy hand to take out what you want when you want to show off? You disgust me, Phil Coulson. That was written from Phil's left hand.
Brilliant.
On that note, you guys can find it. Apparently, they're doing 3D modeling for children that are amputees.
Yeah.
And you can get an Iron Man hand as your new
That was
hand.
the first one they put out, and the first one that rolled off was delivered by Robert Downey Jr.
Oh,
I heard
think
about
saw
that. That was
video,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kitten Cole says, "Great show as always, had made my day. Wonderful show as always. Keep up the good job. I love the theories, and all four of you feed well off of each other. I have to say this is the best after show by far on iTunes and YouTube. I can't wait for next week. Keep up the great job."
Yay,
Save
thank you.
Status 12 says, "Great podcast for a great show. Pretty entertaining, and I can help out if you missed anything while watching. They do a great job running through the episode." Alicia S.J. says, "One more review to help beat Scandal."
Take that.
That is
Scandal.
the goal. That is the goal.
We're at 435 now. We still have over 100 more to go.
We can get there. I have faith.
I mean, how many did we get since last week?
I think a dozen.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
This season's long. It's good.
Peyton 1849. "I'm new to the MCU. Just started watching last year, and my wife and I started watching the movies and show together. We started listening to this show together, and really enjoy it. The hosts being a wide range of theories, even if they are wacky. They constantly keep us on our toes and provide comic book references. I would encourage any Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan to listen. Thanks for making my day better."
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks, Peyton. Dabadon says, "Inhumanely good podcast. A good cast of fans who do their due diligence when breaking down each episode. Keep up the good work. Hashtag Hunter V. Ward."
Yeah.
Jack 2100. "They are so enthusiastic, and I thoroughly enjoy the show. I love hearing the details from the comic books that I miss otherwise." Stephen T 1000. "On a mission to stop Skynet from taking over the world so I can get more ABTV S.H.I.E.L.D. Mooncow 30. I'm just trying to blow through these guys. There's so many. Mooncow 33, "Just found your podcast and I liked what you had to say about episode 302, so I went back to the beginning and started listening to your season 1 reaction."
It was so different back then.
Jesse and I didn't exist.
You came in here with your wild theories about Sky being Captain Marvel.
I thought Coulson was going to be Captain Marvel.
Oh, Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
missed
remember
that
that.
insanity.
That's amazing.
I remember
Because I
that.
thought Phil Lawson and Phil Coulson.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah.
There's some stuff there. Sports Phoebe, great podcast. JB 97.9, fun podcast, great host, 5 stars. Justin 1980, great podcast, period. And I love the comic book integration for those who haven't read them.
Cool.
Mama Little 7, let's get to 500. Best podcast
Heck
ever.
yeah.
Mama Little
Little
Seven.
I'm gonna take a break.
I always
You guys
get
talk for a
excited.
while.
I always get excited when I hear Mama Little 7. I'm like, oh, I know them. They comment on the iTunes stuff.
Yeah.
But all right, should we move on a little bit and then come back to more iTunes ratings? Or
That was all of them.
that was all of them.
them.
All right,
That was a lot.
Sorry, I thought you were just taking a break to drink water. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Again, I want to just say thank you guys.
Yeah.
We would not be here if it weren't for you. You guys are just the best. I'm blown away. All right. Nothing's ever going to bring you down. That's very true. Anyway, let's talk about Fitz and Simmons in this episode. Because we kind of anticipated that this was going to be the case, but Simmons is having a little bit of trouble adjusting to being back on Earth. And they brought up a lot of really good points, like just physiologically, it was such a different planet, and we're lucky that she had that it had an atmosphere that could sustain human life.
Yeah.
But it's thrown off everything about her senses and perceptions. She's like getting distracted by things that nobody else seems to notice anymore. Her hearing, the gravity is different. She's really having a difficult time, and clearly mentally is also having a lot of issues adjusting.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is more evidence that it's Hala. One, it's the higher gravity implies that whatever being lives on that world is stronger, because they would have to live in higher gravity. And we know from last season's visit from the Kree that not only can they breathe our atmosphere without any devices, they are much stronger than us.
Yeah.
So those two things make it at least a possibility.
Well, and that was probably why humanity was like a good candidate for their experiments, is because they had similar atmosphere. You know, the parameters were probably in line with something. They're like, oh yeah, this could work.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be a Kree world of some sort, if not Hala, somewhere very similar.
Yeah, I was thinking, the other thing I was thinking was like one of their moons.
Yeah.
Like something like that could sustain, a place that Kree live.
Yeah.
Well, and, you know, with all that considered, I'm looking forward to seeing her maybe being forced into some sort of situation where she has to fight and doesn't realize how strong she is, or how strong she's gotten, because it seems like she was, you know, fighting something, or, you know, running, obviously, from being chased.
She said she was being hunted.
Yeah, being hunted. So who knows what sort of, like, skills she was forced to
develop while she was there.
And to use. Yeah.
Yeah, she said her analytical, you know, the desire to investigate the world around her quickly died away when the fear set in.
Her curiosity is gone.
Yeah, and we don't really know, because they said that the portal altered time, we don't really know how long she was on that planet. That could have been years, and we don't really know that yet. The fact that she's wearing the same clothes, probably not, but still, we don't really know what she went through, and that there could be something. There could be more to what happened to her here,
and we don't know how she sustained herself. What did she have to do to stay alive during all that time?
Yeah, what was she eating? They said there was fauna,
flora, but not fauna.
Flora, but not fauna. I get them back.
And yeah, I think we should also point out that it's a really great portrayal of PTSD, where it's not. PTSD usually is not something that's large or like violent and explosive. It's usually something very subtle that kind of happens to someone, where you feel like nothing is real anymore, and like you're very out of place, and
she's internalizing it all.
Yeah.
And Marvel in general has been really good about that. Like, people were actually praising Iron Man 3 when it came out, because they were like, yes, this is the closest I've seen a film actually get to what it's like having PTSD.
Yeah, it wasn't like what you've seen a lot of films and TV shows when they do PTSD. They just like show flashes of whatever battles the person was in, like, and like relay it to somebody like walking through a corridor. But this was more just like she's flinching at little things, like the click of a lab device is just like, it's not that she thought it was something else, it was just that she heard something and turned around because she had to know what it was.
Or cell phones vibrating. Like, that was a big thing. Like,
that makes me wonder if they're like, whatever was chasing her didn't have some sort of electronic device that maybe buzzed when like it was sensing people who were near.
Oh yeah, that could definitely be a possibility. Or it's just like when you're in a situation that's a survival situation, and like reacting in a split second is the difference between you getting hurt versus you getting away. Like, whenever anything happens, you have to immediately react.
She's like in perma survival mode right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's go ahead.
And it's kind of like she and Fitz have such an unhealthy relationship, because it's like last season it was her taking care of Fitz the entire, like, trying to bring him back to health, and now it's him, now he's got to deal with her coming back to health, and I
don't know that I would call it unhealthy.
Yeah,
I think that no, it's an unfortunate relationship in that, like, they haven't been able to find, like, to grow, like, I think that it's safe to say that they both are intrigued by the possibility of a romantic relationship coming forth, but they've never, because of outside circumstances, they haven't had time to explore that, and that's unfortunate. It's going to be a struggle, but it's not unhealthy in that there's no like mistrust between the two of them.
No, but I would say
or-
dependency on that level is unhealthy, especially when you're thinking about a possible romantic relationship. Like having that much dependency on someone and then it's swinging all the way the other way.
But when it goes both ways, is that not...
There's no such thing as evening out emotionally.
Well, what we have here, it's a completely different circumstance than when Fitz was needing to go through recovery last season, because when he was needing to go through recovery, Gemma didn't take care of him. She left. She left to go get revenge, to go take down Hydra, which, again, completely understandable. And it was Mac, actually, that was helping.
Kind of helping him back. That's
he
right.
was
I
the
forgot
one
about that.
he was the one that Fitz was able to connect with, and he was the one that brought Fitz back from the brink of like hallucinating that Gemma was there, all sorts of other things. So Gemma like didn't know how to help Fitz at the time, and now we have the reverse. Fitz doesn't know how to help her.
Yeah.
And we get this really great scene between her and between Fitz and Bobby, where she's still going through recovery and it's driving her crazy too, and she has to remind him the key to healing is patience and time, and he has to keep that in mind when. And the other thing is he wants things to go back to the way they were, like he did last season. Everything was changing. He wanted things to go back to the way they were. They can never be that way again.
It'll never be that way.
And she has to remind him, hey, maybe you should give her something to look forward to instead.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever get Gemma back the way we ever had her. Like, that's such a traumatic experience. We might never get that character as she was back.
Well, we said that last year about Fitz too.
That's true.
To be fair,
and now he's speaking all sorts of different languages and taking out terrorists.
And he's going, so he is a completely different character than who he was.
He can say, what was it? What was the word that when he was talking to Bobby? He's like, now I can say, I
don't know.
I don't remember.
in the chat roll, you know what I'm talking about.
He said something to Bobby. That scene in the restaurant was beautiful. Like I was talking about how the show is being shot really well. That scene was absolutely beautifully well shot. Like how much attention was paid to like space and like the pacing of that shot
and the lighting and everything.
Everything was amazing in that scene.
Yeah, I just actually got kind of choked up in that scene because in that moment I feel like everyone can sort of relate to Gemma in the way she's like, agonizing over something so major in her life. So like seeing that on screen and seeing how great of a job that Elizabeth did acting it out was really, really awesome.
Yeah,
that was great.
Just on the shots, like even down to like the close up of the menu.
Yeah,
the way it racked focus on it to make it feel like, because she says there's so many choices because she hasn't had the luxury of choice. In months,
but also she's overwhelmed.
It's intimidating. It is a block of text. It is not a menu of food. It is just a block of intimidation.
Earlier, even being in her old lab was too much stimulation.
Antithesis. I can say antithesis now. It's when he's talking about rehab with Bobby.
We're getting really good with words tonight. That's all I wanted to say.
Going back to Gemma I don't know if we like totally nixed the possibility that she might be an Inhuman. Is that something that's still?
I've got something on that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's save it for predictions.
Let's save it for news and gossip.
Yeah. For news and gossip.
I was just gonna say because somebody in the chat, I think the name was Petiam, they were saying, well, her senses are heightened, and that's what I was thinking when I was watching the show. Like maybe it's not her in survival mode. Maybe her senses are heightened and she's not understanding, why or how to handle it. Maybe
that's her ability.
If she is an Inhuman, that's part of her ability that she needs to learn how to control.
Which would be great if you're a scientist. You could have microscope vision on everything. Oh, that'd be so cool. Go ahead.
I think that's an interesting theory. I would not like it just because it would undercut how well they handled that PTSD.
Very true.
Like I think it's cool. Like it would be a really cool reveal, but I would not enjoy it.
Well, it all depends on what she went through while she was there.
Yeah.
And and I kind of agree with you. I do think that would undermine that a little bit. You guys are pointing at something in the chat. Do you want to
Oh,
bring something
somebody's
up?
like yelling at me for forgetting antithesis.
Yeah. Zach's getting a lot of
That's
antithesis.
okay. I couldn't remember the word quartet last season. I came up with quorum.
At least
which
you didn't
wasn't-
say morp. Okay?
We tape real late, guys. I apologize.
Let's not.
Anyway, but the whole thing culminates to Simmons actually going back to the lab and looking at the rocks that was the portal and basically telling Bobby that she needs to find a way to get back, which we all made lots of.
We have to go back, Kate.
Kate, we gotta go back.
We have to go back to the island.
Jack Beard, Kate, we gotta go back.
All of a sudden,
Elizabeth
John
Henstridge
Locke,
walks out.
Jeep, Jack Beard, we gotta go back.
John Locke appears for some
We
reason.
did have a bald guy, like a sort of like scarred bald guy in this episode.
I
Just
remember
saying.
dying. But yeah, why would she feel the need to go back? You know, she came back in one piece. Why would it be important to go back?
A lot of time with soldiers that have PTSD, a lot of times they feel like the only place that makes sense anymore is the battlefield. Like because they've been so scarred, a lot of times the only way they feel like they're normal or where they're accepted is the battlefield. That's a big problem, is they come back and they see civilian life and it's so alien to them compared to what they're used to, that they feel like they have to go back. They have to find a way back to that battlefield. So I think they're at least playing on that theme, but I'm also going to guess that there were other people on other victims on the planet that she was at.
Do we think maybe she discovered something, some kind of artifact, or maybe people who need to be rescued?
Yeah, I mean, there being other people there is definitely a possibility. It could be even as simple as there was something scientific she needs to get to.
But I wonder if she was even looking, because like she said, after a while her curiosity just left her. So I wonder if she even cared to look for something like that.
Like maybe she
an
found
artifact
something
or
early on and then just had to dismiss it because it wasn't paramount to her survival.
Or it's like something she saw and at the time she was like, oh, that doesn't help me with survival, I don't care.
She needs to,
but now that she is processing it, she now can see, like, she was like, oh, that was an important thing we need to go get. Just a side note, I like them showing Bobby working out because, baby, she's coming back and she's gonna be kicking butt. Like, I'm so excited. She's just like training. I'm like, yes, give me my Mockingbird. I want to see her and I want to see her kicking butt. Like, that's all I care about.
Much like May being back in the field, she is going to want to bash some heads when she gets back.
Yeah. I want a badass knee brace like that. I don't need to wear one right now, but I want
just
it.
In case.
Just in case.
It looks cool.
It looks so cool.
I'm getting old. I might need knee braces anyway. But I do want to touch on one other thing before we move into news and gossip, and that's Mac and Daisy in this episode. I really like the way their relationship is progressing because Mac is there to butt heads with her because he has a different method in terms of bringing people in. But at the same time, he very much respects her, so much so that he's willing to let her be his player too. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that was a cute scene to kind of like reestablish their relationship.
Yeah.
Be my player. I mean, it's her big brother. Like, it's like he's there to look out for her. There's not, somebody said, I think somebody was saying there's romantic tension between them. I don't see it at all. They are like buddies in like. The big brother sister dynamic is perfect because they're not always agreeing. They're not best friends.
Yeah.
They are siblings with Coulson as dad.
Dad!
And a mom they really don't like.
Dad, Mac told Lincoln he couldn't come with us. I know, I told him to. What? You said I could bring him back.
He's trying to make Lincoln go live with mom, and we hate her.
Oh, someone send me fan art of that, please. I would love the family shield. All right, does anybody have any other thoughts on any of the dynamics or relationships before we move on?
No,
I think
This
we're
was
good.
a solid episode. It was really great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Loved it.
All right, let's move into news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
There's one big thing you guys want to talk about.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
All right. we don't. I don't think we have the comic with us, but
did you, Steven? Did you get my email?
I don't think we did. But,
really?
But either way, you guys can go check it out for yourself. And Marvel .1.
It's free. It's absolutely free.
Is it?
It was free. It was free on Comixology.
Oh, I paid for it. But there, at the tail end of it, there is. I think we might be able to get it. There's a little like 6-page S.H.I.E.L.D. storyline.
Here we go.
And in the story, the story's cool and whatever. But in the last page, they hint at like what the stories are they're gonna do in the new run that's coming up. And if we bring them up, there's some hints in there
that
some
could
very
be interesting panels.
Really, change the way that the show goes.
Yeah,
in a big way.
Oh boy,
is this something that we're privy to, or are you afraid of spoiling it for people?
I was waiting to see if the thing, but like, okay, so there's a shot of the simple one. There's a shot of that appears to be Ward.
Yeah,
interesting.
Which is he's not doing anything. It's just a profile shot. But the reason I bring it up is that we've talked a lot about is Ward this character. Yeah. He's one of the few people from the show that they have not introduced in the comics, and that has led me to believe that means that they're going to reveal him to be someone, whether it's like Taskmaster or some random other character, somebody that exists that we know.
It's gone.
I don't know. I sent you the email.
We're having a little trouble finding it.
I literally downloaded it and I can't find it.
Click Alt-J into your browser. You should pop up the latest download.
They're just throwing code my way.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
So Ward is going to get introduced as a character in the Marvel Universe, which is really cool. We finally get to see him. Also, there's a panel where it shows Coulson, and he has 2 human hands in it. Oh. So that also, you did it, Steven. So that also kind of shows that the comics don't necessarily share the same storyline. So this might not be spoilers, but if you don't want to see spoilers, do not look at the screen, because here is a thing with Simmons. And
looks like she's
clearly has something weird going on with her arm.
And the question is,
and also that's Ward and Spider-Man.
That's gotta be Ward.
Yeah. There's Coulson with 2 arms.
And 2 hands,
The question with Simmons is are those little boils something? Could that be an inhuman power?
Because the rest of the comic, we see Simmons. She is wearing a really long sweatshirt that covers both her arms. So does that confirm that Simmons has some sort of
worst case scenario? Best case scenario is she's an inhuman and she's gonna get powers and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
The worst case scenario is that she's caught some sort of alien plague.
Yeah.
That is also entirely possible.
As bad as it sounds, I like that twist, a possibility.
Yeah.
Steven also says, go ahead.
Steven in the booth she just needs a dermatologist.
She might need a dermatologist.
That'll be a filler, a bottle episode.
Maybe fish oil will help.
She did have a vitamin D deficiency.
That's true.
Yep. All right, so that was New Marvel 1. Did you guys want to talk about the Inhumans movie?
Okay.
There were some weird things that happened this week.
It's like a rumor, then a non-rumor, then like a kind of rumor.
And maybe a double bluff.
Yeah, there was a rumor that Marvel, in the wake of everything moving, because they announced like all the big shifts. Then we talked about it a little bit last week with
Captain Marvel got pushed
back and some other stuff, and there's 3 unannounced movies that they have dates for, but the rumor is that they were going to cancel the Inhumans movie completely, and potentially it would become a TV show about the Inhumans instead. Kevin Feige then rebutted that and said, "What are you talking about? That is not at all happening." Yeah. Then the response to that is where it gets real conspiracy theory level.
Convoluted,
is that is just them still trying to cover it up because they don't want to show any lack of faith in any part of the Marvel brand until at least Civil War comes out.
Yeah, when they start Phase 3.
Yeah.
Like when Phase 3 is Phase 3.
Civil War is the start of Phase 3.
Yeah.
When
but they wanna
literally
get it
all
kicked
of our
off.
team members of the Avengers are tearing each other apart. Then we can have some things move around.
Yeah, Anthony Wickizer is just he's like, it's not true.
And
it very well may not be, but it does. The question of how you've introduced the Inhumans so far ahead.
Yeah, for me, we're already getting our Inhumans TV show. Sure, I could very easily see like an X-Men type spin-off going on, but we have the Inhumans in S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't need another TV show right now because another TV show is coming up, and that would be Jessica Jones, and the trailers look so good, guys.
God.
David Tennant as the Purple Man is going to be amazing. That's
You're
all I
not
needed
excited
to say.
at all.
That's all I needed to say.
Whoever said hashtag trust Marvel, I'm with you. I trust them
I
completely,
trust that whichever direction they were going to go.
Yeah.
I think that we all trust them to do the right thing. It's just interesting to with Inhumans such an integral part of the season to think about what the potential of that could do to S.H.I.E.L.D. as well.
Jessica Jones looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I heard from was that Haywood? I want to say
Haywood
Haywood
was so nice. He was at New York City Comic-Con
Comic-Con,
and
yeah.
sent us a bunch of pictures and videos. Thank you so much. We really
They were
appreciated
awesome.
that.
I think they saw the because they showed the first episode of Jessica Jones.
He said hard R
rating, which is awesome.
Whoa, I like that.
So that gets me so excited.
That means
for
they
the
can do
show.
anything.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
anything.
This is a show where just because the S.H.I.E.L.D. is a fairly clean show, I don't even want to say what she does. But if you read Alias, she goes into some very dark places, and not just like killing people dark, like just very
Trauma and
emotionally
abuse.
dark
Yeah.
places.
Yeah, it is very much about someone who is dealing with terrible abuse, and yet somehow it's a very enjoyable experience. And I'm really interested to seeing how Netflix translates that.
And you can tune into the after show here at AfterBuzz TV,
That's right.
starting in late November.
Cool.
Yay.
The two of us will be doing it.
All right, guys. That basically wraps it up for news and gossip. Do we have any rapid fire predictions? Because the next episode, it looks like Lash is on the loose.
We're getting played out.
Yep.
Lash is on the loose. I predict he got a haircut.
Yeah, he looks better. He looks like he maybe got a good night's sleep. He did his hair. He did
They
his
heard
hair.
us.
Lincoln is working for the government. He has lightning powers, lightning thunder, thunderbolts coming to you.
All right, guys. That basically wraps it up for tonight's episode. Joyce, where can the people go if they want to find out more about what you're up to?
Of course, you guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Joyce Ajouri. That's Jajouri. And on the Sunday Night Walking Dead podcast. So if you're watching that show, check it out.
Zach.
You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ZachWilson, ThatZachWilson. A whole bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, including Doctor Who and Sleepy Hollow on Thursdays. Guys, thanks so much for watching.
You can find me at JessKlein1. That's JessKlein, the number 1. You can see me doing comedy here in Los Angeles pretty much every night. And I'll be doing Alias, or AKA Jessica Jones, with Zach in late November.
Guys, I'm Megan. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheMenguin. I want to thank everybody who was in the hashtag. Jillian, the Lore Seeker, Alvin. You guys are all great. Thank you for everybody who participated in the live chat. You guys are the best. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We will see you all next time.
Thank you. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.